I have a couple of them already in our queue here to talk about, but I don't think expending the booster is like, I'm not worried about the ship catch interfering with a caught booster. For one, the ship presumably is going to do at least one full orbit, which takes what, 90 minutes? For two, a single orbit doesn't put you over the same point on Earth again, like once you get all the way around, because the Earth is rotated underneath you. So there's like, you have to phase, you have to orbit a number of times until the spot you're getting is back underneath you. So all that is to say, there will be plenty of time, on the order of hours, to set the booster back down onto a transport stand, maybe even move it away, and then have the ship come in and land. Like, it's not, the ship isn't going to land like the booster, like 7 minutes into flight. No, it's going to be at least 90 minutes, and probably more. That's my response to this. So, yeah. I don't know, who wants to jump on that one?
I'll take it. I think for some of the last Block 1 boosters, if they know they're going to have a Block 2 ready to go and Pad B is starting to get ready to go, and they don't want to reuse them, then there's the possibility they dunk the booster in the Gulf, and because if they're not planning on reusing it or looking at it, or they don't want to even try a catch again, they might dunk it. That would be, I could see why they would do it, but and then like Flight 8 catching there's chine venting, so CO2 loading. Then that's like, we'll see if they try to catch on Flight 8, because if this stays suborbital, which a lot of things are indicating that it will, that means that they want to go to orbit and come back and come back over Mexico and Texas and catch all in the same flight on the first try. Regulatory speaking, have fun. That's going to take a bit to get approved, to say the least. But if they can prove that they can control 33 on the way in, then, you know, maybe the FAA will sign off on it. But the other caveat to that is they need catch hardware, and we don't know if they have any yet.
That's true. We do need to see catch hardware on a ship. Another one of those puzzle pieces we have to keep our eyes out for down here. Speaking of having to have ship in orbit so that it can get over the right spot on Earth again, hey, that gives me shuttle vibes. In fact, isn't that why shuttle had such gigantic wings, Chris?
Yeah, cross-range. Cross-range capability was something the US Air Force demanded to be a customer of the space shuttle, and a very big customer of the space shuttle, and thus the design was like, yes, whatever you want, and that is why it had cross-range. But it's fascinating you were talking about the profile there, because overflights of populated areas became a big no-no for the space shuttle for a long time after Columbia, because of what happened with Columbia. Columbia, if she'd broken up 1 minute earlier, would have impacted downtown Dallas. It would have been a massive disaster, because we'd have had a lot of people on the ground impacted by that. So it was literally a minute. The minute held on for Columbia before she completely disintegrated was what stopped a lot of death on the ground. Literally, I would say that word, death on the ground. So overflights became a big thing as far as populated areas. So that'll be something they'll have to tease a little bit. I think it's obviously relaxed since, and it did relax near the end of the space shuttle program, but they will need to consider that. They don't want a ship breaking up overpopulated areas where the debris could impact on cities, on towns and villages.
Right. So the reason I jumped into that is because the J Mister is asking, how much distance could the shuttle travel cross range to counteract the spin of the Earth?
6,000. Oh, hang on. Leave that with me.
It was a lot.
Thousands of miles, yeah.
Yeah, thousands of miles.
Yeah, I don't think, because shuttle was designed with the full-on delta wing and everything.
Yeah, for that purpose, because there was an orbit out of Vandenberg.
Tudo mudou quando a Emma chegou. Lembro do primeiro dia, foi tudo tão fácil. Ela cuida tão bem de mim e me deixa tão confortável. Parece que foi feita pra mim. Onde a gente se conheceu?
O ar-condicionado inverter Midea é surpreendente. Gasta muito menos energia. É, com ele até a sua conta de luz ganha um refresco.
Minha ideia é a minha ideia de ar-condicionado.
Cross range, right? Like they angle it as it comes back in, sort of use the fuselage as like a lifting body, get some lift off of it. But yeah, I would be really curious to hear like an actual number from Gwen or Kathy Leaders or Elon or something. Like what is shuttle's cross range, and like what does its re-entry profile look like? How are you going to mitigate flying over populated areas? Like these are all questions that are going to have to be answered hopefully in the next like 6 months to a year, if everything goes to plan. John T's asking, what will the payload be on Flight 7? Chris, what do you think? Do you think the payload will continue to just be data? Maybe they'll throw like
bananas,
a bunch of bananas instead of one?
Yeah. Knowing SpaceX are probably more relevant, Elon, if they're looking for the jerky payload, then I can't imagine them doing the banana jerk again. Sometimes things wear a little thin. So maybe the banana jerk has worn thin. I'm hoping we're going to start seeing some Starlinks. Just stick a Starlink, one Starlink in the purse dispenser. Doesn't have to deploy it. Just stick it in there, just see what it looks like. They can afford it. It's only one.
Yeah, that would make sense to me. Ryan, what do you think, buddy?
They might put something on, or they may just fly it, or they just fly and not have much issue here. Well, we got something going on here. We don't have any engine chill. Sorry to interrupt the question, but trying to figure out what SpaceX is doing right now, and it's more and more looking like a tanking test because we don't have any engine chill going on here. So, yeah, I think we've got a good old tanking test today. Unless something changes.
I mean, there's a bunch of hours in the window when it goes to what? Is it 8 p.m. or is it 4 p.m. today?
It's 4 today.
It's still a bunch of time. Let's see what they do. Okay, let's speed run a couple questions. First off, we have oh gosh, where did it go? I just had it here. Oh yeah, Riley is asking about our thoughts on Jared Isaacman getting the nomination for NASA admin. A bunch of people are asking about our thoughts for that. Like we said at the top of the show, check out the Raptor side that Chris did on SBL. That's available to members, or check out yesterday's Flame Trench, where we talked about it for like over an hour. Just the summary is very excited. Smile says, I just joined. What are they doing to the booster right now? That's what we're trying to figure out. Could be a tanking test. Could be a spin prime, maybe. Probably looking like a tanking test. Not a static fire. Obviously not a launch. We have no one and yet everyone asking if it's likely that the unbuilt Star Factory at Roberts Road will be tooled up to produce 12-meter diameter Super Heavy and Starship versions.
No.
I doubt it. They're going to go with 9-meter. Although... keep your eyes out because we do have a KSC flyover coming out. So if you want updates on what is actually going on at Kennedy Space Center, check that out in the coming couple days here.
First off, there is no Star Factory at Roberts Road yet. The one that's built there is being used by Falcon at the moment. The one that they first built for Starship is now being used for Falcon stuff and whatnot. And they just some recent satellite photos from Harry. We saw that they're starting to clear the north lot, so we should start. It'll take a while because it's basically like wetlands and wildlands up there, so they have to clear all the brush and trees out. Then they have to go in and do a bunch of groundwork, and then there's a lot of prep work they have to do before they build a factory and a bay or bays for stuff. I wouldn't expect that factory, along with all of the tooling required for it, which will be 9 meters. It's not going to be 12. They are stuck to 9. If they do a 12-meter Starship, it won't be Starship, and it won't be until like 15, 20 years down the road.
Right.
Yeah. It's probably going to be about 2.5, 3 years until that site is fully operational and pumping out starships. So it's going to be a bit, but once it starts going, it's going to go.
To that end, we do have a question here from Samuel Miller asking, oh no, I lost it. Oh my, why am I so bad at this today? Here we go. Samuel Miller says, when do you think we'll see the first human landing system ship, and does the demo launch from KSC or Starbase? Chris, two-part question. When and where?
Oh, you know what? Well, for the second part, I want to say KSC. It's just that 39A is a natural HLS launch site, I would say, especially a NASA contract. But
even like a demo, like a
yeah, that's the thing. The demos. I mean, we're looking at Target and Chaser, those two ships as well for the refilling demos. I think Nelga from Starbase. It's really interesting. I don't know. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say I don't know. I don't mind. I don't mind saying I don't know and I don't know. I would like it to go from KSC, but again, KSC is still a while off. We are seeing progress now back on 39A Starship Tower. So, and the tank farm they're going to be building there by taking down the old LOX tank. But as far as them actually giving us maybe some photographs, because it'll be inside Star Factory if anywhere, the work on the HLS ship, that'll be something to really get a good insight into, because I think there's rumours there's certainly mock-ups and interiors and things like that for it. But we've not actually seen anything officially from SpaceX, and if it's inside Star Factory, there's no way you're going to see it through the windows. You never know, Jack. You might see it through the window.
I mean, the one thing you can very easily see in Star Factory is the nose cones. So if a nose cone starts going through the flow, and it doesn't get pins, I'm gonna get very excited very fast. I think. Right now in the Star Factory, there's 35, 36, 37's nose cone, and 38's header tank just got put on a stand to get a nose cone put around it. So maybe in the 40s, we'll see a moon ship roll through there. That would be, oh my god,
that'd be amazing.
So, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of nuts. We recently thought it was, and it got installed. It got sleeved onto its nose cone. What was it, November 8th or 9th or something like that, so about a month ago, was ship 37, which says that, okay, the next ship's header tank is probably set up, which is ship 38. It's like, well, the production increase we wanted to see is starting to go. However, they now run into the bottleneck of the fact that it's taking them a month and a half to 2 months to stack a block 2. Hopefully they can pump that up, but the quickest they were able to stack a block 1 is once a month. So if they can get to that and they can produce that, they can then do 12 ships a year out of Mega Bay 2. That's not counting them knocking down the Stargate building and High Bay and building something for ships and boosters. But if you really look at the best they could do with Block 1, which is even better than what they could do with Block 2 right now, you're looking at 12 ships a year. And boosters, it's like 6. Not even. The boosters is... Actually, no, not even 6. Boosters is like 4 or 5 boosters a year, maybe. It takes a while for them to stack those things. The hope is the Block 2 goes a lot faster than what they currently do, because it takes them like 2.5, 3 months sometimes to stack these boosters.
I mean, I still think Star Factory is not even close to fully online. Like, at some point, it's going to enable a ramp. Just building more sub-assemblies inside the Star Factory and then rolling them strictly for stacking at the bays. But we'll see how it goes. Speaking of seeing how it goes, we got a pretty frosty booster here.
Yeah, this is definitely more prop load than you would need for a spin prime, and still no engine chill. So we're definitely looking like a tanking test. We'll see how much they go. I wouldn't expect them to do too much more methane. I think we're about at 2 rings of methane plus the dome itself.
Right.
and of course the transfer tube that goes down. Yeah, we're about 2 rings or so, 2 full rings of methane, and then
What does the dome equal in terms of a ring? Like, is the dome like a half a ring worth of methane?
I'm trying to remember what the elliptical dome is off the top of my head.
I'm really stretching the Ryan knowledge base here.
Do I have that? I don't know if I have the I have the old dome stuff written down.
Figure it out, because you're Ryan Weber and we expect you
Okay,
to
I'll
know.
check.
In the meantime, I'd rather be flying an X-Wing. Thank you for the super chat. They say, any thoughts or rumors about manufacturing in orbit? Seems like Starship's massive cargo capacity could make that more feasible. I really think that's something very, at least interesting to me, that Starship could enable, is on-orbit construction. Because every rocket so far has to be burdened by being aerodynamic and having to re-enter the atmosphere. Like, let's build spacecraft in space and make true spacecraft. That's really exciting. I haven't heard any rumors about it or anything like that, but it just seems like a no-brainer. Chris, any thoughts? Let's use Starship to build an Enterprise in orbit.
It's been proposed. It's been proposed by ULA years and years and years and years, and they keep proposing it, but they never get around to doing it. They use the ACES system, where they basically utilize a cislunar economy of 2,000 workers. They wanted 2,000 people working in cislunar orbit, and basically saying this is where we're going to have orbital platforms and build structures and what have you, but it never came to bear. Now, ULA is very profit margin based, and you can imagine SpaceX being, well, we want to do it, let's do it. So there might be a different kind of economy of scale, especially with Starship's ability and capability of providing the upmass to create such a platform. I would love it. I would love an Enterprise being built in a space dock in Earth orbit or something like that. I think we are way off that though. I think the priority right now, especially from Elon and SpaceX, and NASA in fact, is to build a permanent base on the moon and then a self-sustaining city on Mars. And I think those things are achievable without that requirement of an orbital platform.
Talking while muted, sorry. Ryan, any thoughts on on-orbit construction? Also, Alex on the channel saying that engine chill is running, so maybe spin prime after all?
Yeah, and I literally noticed that, and then you asked me the question. I was gonna, but yeah, you've got the clouds from the LOX pond that's over to the side, and the engine chill ring, the engine chill pipe under the OLM is going. So they are doing engine chill right now. So we will see if this becomes a tanking test turned into a spin prime or something. I guess we will have to see what they do, because this is not usually how they do it. So, but in terms of manufacturing in orbit, yes, please. Can we get like an Earth space dock with San Francisco fleet yards, Utopia Planitia fleet yards? Come on, let's build Constitution classes, Galaxy class. Let's do it. I'm here for it.
Hang on, Ryan. What was the shipyard in Battlestar Galactica? I've forgotten.
Oh dear.
Hang on.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know.
I've been awake for a while because I worked last night and I gotta make my brain work.
I'm failing you on the pop culture knowledge there. Battlestar Galactica is not one of my strong points.
Scorpion shipyards.
Thank
there
you.
It is.
Thank you, Chris.
As always, as we continue to say every time me and Chris are on stream together or a Raptor side, we constantly say we need to do a members sci-fi stream.
Yeah.
At some point we have to do it.
Needs to happen.
Yep.
I'm still bummed we didn't stream when I made Adrian watch The Fifth Element.
Oh no, yeah.
Good stuff. Alright, so engine chill's running. Maybe we'll see a spin prime, maybe just a tanking test. Either way, booster is nice and healthily loaded. I'm more than I expected to see it get loaded today, so that's interesting. Anthony Lasago, thank you for, holy cow, $50 super chat. Thank you so much, Anthony. That's so extremely generous of you. They're asking, which flight do you think will be the first full orbital flight? How many times do you think they'll go around before deorbit? And do you think they'll actually launch some sats on the first orbital flight? Okay, three-parter. Which flight will be first full orbital? I'm going to say 8. Do we think they'll actually launch some satellites? Yeah, I think they will. And how many orbits? Oh man, I have no idea. However many it takes. That's the boring answer. But Chris, I'll throw this one to you. When first orbital flight? Well, let's go through it piece by piece.
Yeah. Flight 8.
How many times do you think they'll go around before deorbit?
4.
4? All right. Solid number. I mean, you're very confident in 4. Is there a reason, or are you just saying 4?
No, I'm just guessing.
Okay. No, it's good. I like it. I like it. And do you think they'll actually launch some satellites?
Yes. Starlink.
Nice. Heck yeah. I hope so. I mean, I'm excited to see that. It's going to be really killer footage from Starship of the Starlinks getting spat out the door there. Webby, what do you think? When first orbital flight, or which?
Well, before I do that, Alex is pointing out in the back channel, reminding me that usually if this was a tanking test, then the engine chill kind of lines up at the T minus 19 minutes for when they would want to finish prop load, give or take. So, yeah, we're it kind of lines up still, but you never know. SpaceX, they could end this and then do spin prime, but I've never seen them do spin prime with this much methane on board. So, yeah, I'm unless they were to like detank and recycle, which I don't think they would do since they have until 4. I think they would just do this test and then go straight into Monday. But it's looking like just a regular tanking test because the engine chill kind of lines up with that. But and in terms of first orbital flight, yeah, flight 8. I think they'll do one suborbital flight of Block 2. Feel it out, get used to it, and then they'll go to orbit. I think they will do Starlinks. I don't know how many. Yeah, I don't really know how many orbits they'll do. Maybe a couple, kind of like 4, was like Chris was saying. Something like that. And then if either they dunk it in the Pacific, I think somewhere along there, or they are confident enough that they go, let's dump it in the Gulf. So bring it back over land and then put it in the Gulf of Mexico. Like kind of like you're trying to catch it, but you don't because you do it slightly offshore or something. I don't know. Something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I could see that.
I do see people in chat citing orbital dynamics, which is kind of important.
Prometes. Prometo. Eu tô com você. Prometo. Prometo.
Stream like 1 hour to launch.
We'll do a launch stream and a catch stream.
Oh, we got the stakeout streams now.
We'll do the so Chris, we'll do the stakeout stream. We'll do the launch stream.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we will do the catch, landing, or like the coast and landing stream or whatever. Yeah.
I look forward to it. I look forward to it. What is it? 90 minutes times 8 orbits, 720 minutes divided by 60 for 12 hours? Yeah, 12 hours. Jeez.
So yeah, 8. Yeah. So double that. Yeah. If they want to bring it back over, I guess is the whole thing. If they want to put it in like the Indian Ocean or Pacific or put it in an ocean somewhere, I know they could pick their landing zone and pick how many orbits they want to do. But if they did want to bring it back over, then yeah, 8 orbits to do it.
You know, I've not looked at the panel, so I hope I'm not really annoying Jack by just keeping on this, but we could do the orbit stream and have a cooking show in the middle.
I'm here for it.
Let's do it. Basically, we have the stream, the launch stream, the booster gets caught and everything, and we kind of just keep it open and do a cooking stream while they safe the booster, get it out of the way, and then we come back with another stream as the booster is rolling down the highway or whatever, and then a ship comes in and gets caught.
Yeah.
There.
We've got a plan. Kevin, let's make it real. Let's do this. We've decided.
Yeah, write the run sheet. We're good.
Yeah, write the run sheet. Kevin in the back channel.
Kevin in the back. Great.
On it.
But yeah, that's a good topic of discussion. In fact, Samuel Miller had asked if we thought we would see ship landings in the Gulf first, which is a good question. Neil is asking, how many booster catches do we guess we will see next year? I'm going to say 7. Ryan, what do you think?
Well, here's the thing. Depends on how many Block 1 boost Depends on how many times they fly. That's a tough one. How many? Because in terms of launches, I think we see maybe 7 to 8, maybe.
Yeah,
that is entirely
dependent, and that they don't catch all of them. So
that's entirely dependent on whether or not they reuse Block 1s or they're able to build Block 2 boosters much faster and test them much faster. Which so far with Block 2 a ship, like just for example, they're about to roll out. What is it? In 2 days, we have a rollout closure for Ship 33 to go to Massey's for static fire testing. That is about 4 months faster, or so, than any Block 1. 3 to 4 months faster. If they were to hit their target, or sometime around January, early February to launch Ship 33, they will have almost cut their stack and testing time of ships almost in half to get it ready to fly. So if they can do that with boosters, then yeah, we could get like 8 next year or something like that, assuming Pad B is online. But we'll see. Go with 6 booster catches. Some will fail. I think we'll go with that.
Chris, what do you think? How many catches next year?
You know what? To me, it's down to the amount of launches they'll achieve, and then probably taking out 2 diverts where they decide not to bring the booster back, because that's going to be an option going forward. Then you look at Falcon 9, which always comes back. It's very rare they'll have an issue with a Falcon 9 booster coming back, so they're a while off that yet. So I'm going to give them some allowance for some diverts where the tower of the booster's not happy. I'm hoping for 12 launches next year, which is probably a bit bonkers. So I'm going to go with 10. Give me allowance of losing 2 to the Gulf and getting 10 catches. That's optimistic, to be fair, but I'm going with it.
No, I like it. I like optimistic. That's basically the same exact math I did. I was thinking 9 launches, 2 expended for whatever reason or failed catch, and then you know, so I said 7 catches. But that's basically the same exact math I did. That's humorous to me. Eric Frazier's asking, can you say for sure that Flight 7 will not have a horse on board, Chris?
Yes, unfortunately. They're bad enough having to be like kind of tranquilized and it being a herd on a cargo flight. Never mind a single horse on a starship. He'll be horses do not like horseback's time. Horses do not like being alone. If you see a horse in a pasture on its own because some father's bought their daughter a pony, that's a sad horse. They like being in with other horses.
Aww. I think I recently saw a picture of a whole bunch of horses on a like passenger airliner that had been stripped out. Was it like Air Horse 1?
Yeah, Air Horse 1. Yeah, the equestrian championships. They tend to air freight them, but they're very well looked after, and they do like being together. They've got enough food. They're with other company. They're usually fine. They've got tranquilizer options if they do get a bit restless, but they usually cope all right with other horses. They're fine.
Have we done the math? How many horses could fit in Starship?
It'd be a fair few.
Sorry, I got horsed again. 6 String Simpleton is asking, what remains for the Flight 7 vehicle testing-wise? Well, today we're looking at the booster either getting tanked or getting spin primed. It also needs to static fire, presumably. Also, Ship 33 needs to static fire. But beyond that, I mean, maybe a wet dress or a mini wet dress. Ryan, am I forgetting anything? There's not much.
I know they haven't done a wet dress the last 2, but I would expect them to do one this time around because it's the first Block 2. I wouldn't be surprised. Then again, SpaceX could be SpaceX and just do their partial load. But part of me thinks that they'll want to do a full wet dress because that'll be the heaviest stack they've done so far. Because there's an extra 300 tons of propellant in that ship now, compared to Ship 31. So I think they'll go ahead and do a whole wet dress before they launch this time around.
Do you think the Flight 7 stack's going to come off the pads slower because of that?
That entirely depends on what the Raptors are like on this booster. Are they upgraded to deal with that extra 300 ton? Well, though you have to remember though, extra 300 ton. Let's just say the added weight is only an extra 300 tons. For those of you who remember, that's like 1.3 Raptors worth of thrust.
Yeah.
That's off the top of my head. It's probably not right, but it's off the top of my head anyway. I don't think it won't be any noticeable slower. It really won't be. I mean, it might push down the thrust to weight ratio a little bit, but that's only if they really are running at 230. Maybe they're running higher than that. I mean, we really don't know. So
interesting.
Yeah.
A little bit of venting from the booster there. The LOX tank is like nearly full, which is nuts.
Yeah. They have about a quarter. It's about a quarter of the methane tank. And I guess they wanted to fully fill the LOX tank for some reason.
Some more venting.
Only SpaceX knows why.
Interesting test today.
I mean,
what are you expecting to see next, Ryan? In terms of like, were you looking for the OLM vent to come back? Are you looking for a depress? Are you looking for some vapor from the engines? Like, where are we at?
Basically looking for the OLM vent to come back. If we go by, the OLM vent went off for prop loading around 11:06, give or take, and your LOX loading, and if we go by that kind of timeline along that, T0 could be, Alex is predicting a back channel around 11:50 or so. So we could be within a couple of minutes of seeing that OLM vent come back. So yeah, let's kind of watch and wait here. And for those, and I'll just kind of say as a general, for those of you who are asking why SpaceX is doing this, even though we can't see major changes to the vehicle on the outward, like the only real big change to this booster is the fact that it doesn't have the engine chill pipe up top that connects to the hot stage ring, which then connects to the ship, because Block 2 doesn't need that anymore, because the engine chill lines for the ship now run through the aft flat fairings and they flare out, so they don't need that directional anymore. But we have no idea what internal changes SpaceX may have done to these boosters. Since it's done cryo, it's been back, and there's an OLM vent back, so that's finish of LOX loading. We should be at full prop load for this. But to say like SpaceX could have made a lot of internal changes, they want to go ahead and test this kind of stuff. Just kind of make sure, verify all the systems are good to go before they, fire off these engines, whether it would be a spin prime or a static fire itself. But
by the way,
yeah.
Ryan, static fire. Two things, right? This is not foolproof because it has happened once where Mary was not given an overpressure notice and they did a static fire test, but that was a mistake. Every other time there's been an overpressure notice to locals about a static fire test. That's why we feel quite confident it's not a static fire test, but also scaffolding. There's no way to do a static fire test with the scaffolding up, would they?
No, because if they were to fire all 33 of those engines right now, you would create a massive low pressure zone right at the aft end of the booster.
Right. If you've seen my slow-mo shot of a static fire, it like tight on that area, you can see all of that vapor sort of get venturied into the mount. Like all that scaffolding would just be sucked in.
It would be sucked in and damage the OLM. It would damage the booster. It could go in, damage the engines. You don't want to do that. And then of course, once done, you get the shockwave that goes out, and it'll just blow all that stuff all over the place. So it'll literally suck it in and blow it out. It'll just, and you don't want to do that,
That would be
at
bad.
all. So they have never done
Scaffold-rich testing. Scaffold-rich engine combustion. Ions in chat says. So good. Cheese tasting enthusiast, thank you for the support. They say, would Pad B be lower than Pad A? If so, I presume double stacks would look pretty unique if they happen. Oh, they're gonna happen.
yeah.
I'm not sure though. I don't know about heights. Ryan, any thoughts? I mean,
The
there's still a lot of
OLM
construction
should be
to go
lower.
until we know.
It should be lower.
Oh wait, hang on. DSS.
That's
is on.
DSS.
That's the detonation suppression system.
Starting fire.
Yeah,
I mean-
no way. But that would be pretty funny.
It would
But
be
no
pretty
way.
funny. And Spin Prime.
That is what a spin prime looks like.
They did a tanking test plus a Spin Prime.
Excellent. One step closer to Starship Flight 7.
Right.
That is a lot of vapor.
Yeah, that is a lot of vapor.
Very neat. Well, now we wait and see what SpaceX does next exactly, but that certainly
Excellent.
looked like a spin prime.
That next should be. Usually they hold it for a little bit. They'll start detanking. They'll do a depress from flight pressurization. They'll do a slight depress.
I wonder if
and
we're
then
going to water deluge test.
I haven't checked. Yeah, I don't know. But they might. I don't think there's a reason to. I mean, you're gonna get based off of what they just did. You're gonna get that test on Monday. So
Yeah, fair.
yeah, they'll test it on Monday. So why do it now? In fact, I don't even know if it's. I don't know if they've recharged it since launch.
There's
trying to
there
remember
have
if they
been
did.
so many water trucks.
It's been a minute, so yeah, I think it happened a little bit ago, but yeah. Well, there've been a lot of water trucks to take out a lot of the water because it's been raining a lot too. So.
Also, yes. I mean, they can
Yeah.
come bring in clean water and then suck up the
Yeah.
gross water and take it out.
But basically, they'll do a small depress, then they'll detank, and once it's pretty much detanked, they'll do a final depress and safe the vehicle, and then they'll basically get ready for probably a static fire on Monday. So
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think with that, we're going to let Chris Bergenator, the Bergie Yorkshireman extraordinaire. I'm sorry, Chris. We're going to let you go.
No, yes.
Thank you for being on. We love you so much. You're the best. Thank you for creating NASA Spaceflight. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
I had something else, but it completely left my
No,
brain.
all you gotta do is say, right, Chris is going now. Bye, Chris. Thanks, Chris. Bye. I'll go. Thanks, Jack. Bye. And then introduce a new person. That's all you gotta do with me. But if you did hear a few little echoes during last few minutes or so, that was just me rewinding and bandicamming the Spin Prime, and I forgot to mute my microphone as I was putting on to X. But yeah, we're good now. Anyway, thank you and goodbye.
Thanks. Bye, Chris. The chat is really mad that I called you Bergie, but they're going to have to deal with it. Also, replacing Chris on chat today or on stream is Sawyer. Sawyer, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, that was a pretty nice looking test there with all the tanking and then the spin priming and the DSSing. Looked pretty good.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens next, if they just detank or if they have more in store for today.
let's go
I hope-
static fire today. Just
Yeah, right.
blow it. Yeah.
Who
I-
needs
I
a little
honestly
pressure
hope-
notice?
I do hope they wrap up testing soon because I have to go record Starbase Update.
I just got here. Come on. Let's have some
Oh,
fun. Let it hang
oh.
out a little longer.
I don't mean that soon. I mean, we still should hang out because we got a lot of good questions. So let's definitely make sure we keep them coming, chat. If you have any questions for us and now Sawyer about Flight 7 or today's test or whatever, maybe like what constitutes an actual bagel and why Sawyer's wrong about it. Just
Oh, don't even.
type your question
Hey,
at NASA
you know what?
Spaceflight in chat and we'll see your question.
You know
pop up.
what?
What?
I'm gonna say this. Nothing beats a plain bagel with plain cream cheese. Nothing.
Yes.
There's something
Noth-
wrong with you.
Nothing.
Yes, Brian.
Beats that.
You're like
I
Ned
knew I
Flanders.
liked you.
What's the Ned Flanders quote that's like, sometimes I have a glass of water before bed with a piece of white bread on the side for dipping or something like that. Like, that's so Ned Flanders of you. A plain bagel with plain cream cheese.
I'll take an everything
man.
bagel too. I mean, like, come on. It's basic.
But you said
it's
there's
good.
nothing better. But you said there's nothing better. Like, no, I'm sorry. It's categorically a sesame bagel.
It's a classic.
Sesame bagel.
It's a go-to good classic.
Sesame bagel beats plain bagel any day of the week. It's also a classic. It's also simple. You're just demonstrably wrong. I can't agree.
We
Ryan
also have
Weber and
replays
I
coming, by the way.
don't
Just-
agree on much, but we agree
Kevin,
on
no.
plain bagel,
No.
plain
you
cream
serious?
cheese. Yes,
Yes.
Kevin.
Kevin
Yes.
for the win.
that's just the way.
For
Kevin.
once. I
Kevin,
agree.
we're
For once,
bros,
me and
okay?
Kevin
No,
are
we're like
aligned.
way off the rails here. Spin Prime happened. It's bagel chat.
And
Kevin,
there's replays coming.
yeah, there are replays coming. Thank you, Sawyer. Kevin, we're bros, right? Like we're friends. Like I feel like we have a certain bond. Like
We do.
You're. I feel like I get you. And
Yeah.
yet I do not understand how you're advocating for plain bagel. You're a man of the world. Like come on.
Yeah, and in the rest of the world, they have just like plain bagels with plain cream cheese. Yeah, Jack. I don't get your bagel bagel trends or whatever. I don't even know how to say it.
Preferences, yeah.
Preferences.
Chad, if you have no idea what we're talking about, in the member Discord, in Food Chat, there's been an ongoing debate about what is and is not a bagel. I think a jalapeno cheddar everything bagel is top bagel, is peak bagel, and others advocate that is not even a bagel. I don't think... I mean, a plain
Jalapeno
bagel?
cheddar?
Yeah, jalapeno cheddar everything. It's everything plus jalapeno and cheddar. It's all that in a bag of chips, Sawyer. Deal with it.
Hey, Jack. You know what's not a bagel?
Starship?
Booster 14.
Also, by the way, worth noting, the bag of chips in that case would go on the side, so the Asiago and the cheese and the whatever jalapeno crap would go on the side.
Okay, we're going to table bagel chat for right
Yes,
now. If
let's
only
go to
because
actual Starship stuff. That's what I joined for.
I
Not
am
to be
now
bombarded with bagel
bagel-reek.
bombasting.
Good stuff. Wertaz is asking, in the far future, humanity eventually got to the point of interstellar travel. What should be the first place to go? Proxima Centauri or a different star in the local area? Sawyer, it's 100 years from now. You've been warped into the future through a cool portal or something. It's like Sliders. Remember that show from the 90s, Sliders? You're going through the Sliders tunnel, you come out, and you can send a mission interstellar wherever. Where do you send it?
I'll take my TARDIS, thank you. What I think would be really cool is... I'm trying to remember the name of the star system that Voyager is kind of on track to reach. It would kind of be cool to beat Voyager there, almost, see what it's like, and then, if we could set up a settlement, greet Voyager as it arrives, thousands of years later.
That would be nifty. Ryan? Portal, etc., sliders, etc. What do you do?
Yeah. That's a tough one. Be cool to go see like Beetlejuice, something like that. Hopefully it hasn't already. If it hasn't already blown up by then, see like a hyper giant. Like one of the biggest stars in our galaxy or ever. It just try to see the scale of it, or try to understand the scale of something like that would be really, really cool.
All right, hear me out. I would send a vehicle right on the edge of wherever the electromagnetic radiation bubble from Earth is once we started transmitting radio and television signals. And it would record everything that it picked up and then send back little, I assume, faster than light probes. So it's like, it could be, like you could stream OG radio and TV like in real time. I would send some weird relay probe. That's not exciting, but that's what I would do.
That's actually genius. All I can think of is the opening to Contact. You get all the radio waves as you go further out.
But yeah, or a star or star system or something like that also would be very cool. Interesting question, Wartaz. Keep them coming. You've had a couple good ones on this stream. We have a bagel vote in chat, a poll. Plain bagel, plain cream cheese, or jalapeno cheddar everything bagel. How is jalapeno everything cheddar bagel losing so badly?
You know why.
No, I don't know why. I know why. I do know why. It's because chat loves to pick the thing they know I don't want them to pick. It's purely out of spite. I'm sure the vast majority of chat would devour readily a jalapeno cheddar everything bagel. But
you know what?
It's because you're wrong.
It's more funny when number go down, when Jack want number to go up. I get it. That's more funny.
By the way, you know what else can go on a bagel? LOX. And you know what LOX also stands for? Liquid oxygen, of which there is some in Booster 14 still.
That's true.
There's a lot in Booster 14 right now.
Somebody should open a bagel joint in Browns. I can't get good bagels here. It kills me. I'm just gonna keep it on bagels. You can keep trying to take it back to Starship, but no, we're gonna keep going back to bagels, baby.
Get an Einstein's Bagels franchise down there or something. I don't know. In St. Louis.
That's not. I said good bagels. I said good bagels. Echo Mandy is asking, do you think that the initial boosters and starships for CAPE will be built at Starbase? Sawyer, as one of our resident CAPE fellows, which I guess is a term that I just created, as one of our resident CAPE fellows, what do you
Crusader.
What are your thoughts? I mean, seems kind of like yes to me. With starships and boosters at the Cape, though, is going to be sick.
Oh, it's going to be absolutely awesome once it does happen. And with the upcoming KSC flyover, you'll get to see some of the Roberts Road progress. But I think at this point, why would SpaceX need to either get or figure out how to have a giant barge, truck it all the way on?
Vá atrás do seu maior potencial. Vem pra Smart Fit.
The Florida Peninsula, get to the turning basin at KSC, and do all of this when you can just build it there. I mean, Hangar X2 went up really fast.
Connor Sprit in chat says the OLM kind of looks like a bagel. It does!
Oh my god.
It does!
Anyway, Hangar X2 went up really quickly, so I wouldn't be surprised if their Starship hardware also goes up really quickly and they build the first one there.
I'm going to start calling it the OLB. Oh. The Orbital Launch Bagel.
What is wrong with today that I'm the one trying to keep things on the rails?
Work continues on the Orbital Launch Bagel.
Jack has now lost it. Okay, Jack. Since you're doing SPU today, and you already said it, you got to record SPU today. It is your mission, and it is your mission to find a way to introduce Orbital Launch Bagel into it. You have to.
I'll see what I can do. No promises.
Yeah.
Here's one. Flo Shreeped is asking, do you think there's a chance the Hubble rescue mission is now back on the table with Jared getting the nom for NASA admin? Sawyer, what do you think?
I'm going to be honest. No. I would love it to be. I would absolutely love it to be. I want to be wrong. I want to see that thing either service to keep going and then preferably returned back to, say, the Smithsonian or something. But
yes.
The problem is it's not just Jared's call. There's a lot of other scientists and engineers and bureaucrats and things that have their hand in the pot as well. And so I think it's probably going to be a no, but boy, do I hope he proves me wrong with that.
Oh my god, hey. John in chat says OLB, that's why they keep toasting it. That's why they keep toasting it, because it's a bagel. It was under our noses all along.
Oh my goodness. This is just going to keep going.
At some point I'll finish a proper answer, it's fine.
The whole thing with, what was it, with the Hubble, he could just Ed Baldwin it, assign himself to the mission and make the mission. And then go do it himself.
Having just watched For All Mankind, I get this reference.
Yeah, assign himself to the mission, he goes and repairs it. The NASA administrator goes and repairs Hubble himself.
Oh. Let's see. More questions. Keep them coming. We're waiting to see what happens with the booster. I mean, obviously we're keeping our eyes on it, but, you know, bagels are kind of more important, so... Snacking continues on the orbital launch bagel. Oh my god, Echo Deal.
Wait
Best
a minute.
super chat. Best super chat ever.
Hang on, there's now a bagel command, and apparently it says bagels have no relevance to the orbital launch mount. Hashtag Nightbot facts.
Wait, what? No, I don't agree. I'm sorry, I don't agree.
Also, bagel
they both
doesn't
have a
have an
hole in the
apostrophe.
center. They're both round. They're highly relevant.
It looks like they were holding the prop load for a bit. I'm trying to tell if they're detanking at all.
Nope, no major depress vent or anything like that.
I don't see like the line going down at all, unless my eyes aren't working great. I've been awake for a good chunk of time, so
I haven't noticed it drop at all either.
Just gonna show that message on screen there.
Oh, that's brilliant, Echo.
Bill, thank you for the super chat. They say Team Plane. I may disagree with you, but I still appreciate your support. Matt Hicks, thank you for the super chat. They say any bagel less than sign homage biscuits. I don't know what that is. Michael Bertoldi, thank you for the super chat. They say Spin Prime Woo. Phil, thank you for the support. They say Woody on Booster 14 and Buzz on Ship 33. They have hinted. That would be pretty cool.
But
Ben,
what does the Toy Story reference have to do with the version 2 ship and 14, though?
Yeah.
I have no idea. We'll figure it out.
At least we get bananas for scale, because that's been a long-running joke.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see what decals SpaceX puts on 33. I mean, the decal could already be on it when it rolls out for static fire. So we'll see. I just wish they did decals like SpaceX decals on boosters, unless they're saving that for like Block 2 or something. But we'll see.
Gary Sven Sailing in chat is asking, can you describe an orbital arc in bagel terms? Devin Waldron, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Josh,
I was like, are you taking that, Jack?
Super chat. No, sometimes sometimes a long pause is called for, comedically. They're asking who is more like Dr. Zephyrin Cochran, Elon or Jared. I'm gonna go Jared.
Jared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Creasy Vision, thank you for the super chat. They say, I can't remember where I saw it now. Might have been the TEA, but I saw some mention of a landing platform in the Gulf. Do we know anything about that? I thought drone ship landings were off the table. Ryan?
They are not off the table. I think it was... I think it was in the TEA. I think it was also in the EIS for 39A as well. The updated one, that is. If I remember, like, breakover fixtures, things like that, and... Yeah, all the EAs have had them. Yeah, that's right. This is the thing, is SpaceX hasn't stopped talking about landing offshore with Starship, whether it's with booster or ship. They have always talked about it. Basically, like, and in this case, if they don't have any landing legs on either of them, they're gonna have a tower on whatever barge or drone ship they make to catch the vehicles on. So in the middle of the ocean. So let's see how that works.
I miss the oil platforms. Remember those?
Phobos and Deimos.
Yeah.
Yes. But that would be crazy having a whole tower.
A Bialy. Bialys are really good too.
Ooh.
They're not quite bagels, but they're almost bagels.
Right. That's one, again, it's not a bagel. It is absolutely delicious. I'm not saying what you eat can't be absolutely delicious, but it's not a bagel.
It's a bagel.
A Bialy is very different from a bagel.
But the place I buy it from makes Bialys too, and they don't call it a Bialy, they call it a bagel.
Well, then they're wrong. It's a Bialy.
You're calling an entire bagel franchise wrong.
Yes, I am.
All right. I swear I'm gonna like get them on Twitter and start a war. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Bideford, thank you for the support. Let's see if good bagels are needed in Boca Chica. Bagel chat's not stopping. If you wanted it to stop, I'm sorry, it's not. If good bagels are needed in Boca Chica, need a Jersey shop to make them down there. And anything on a bagel, including whitefish, is yummy. I've never had whitefish on a bagel.
Oh, whitefish salad on a bagel is good.
Is that one of those salads that people make that's basically just something in mayo?
Kinda.
Mary, thank you for the support. They say bacon toasted in bagel grease, or bagel toasted in bacon grease. Bagels don't have grease, ideally. All right. Mars Endeavor's asking, will they need the second tower for version 2 boosters? It'll be taller, and the ship QD would have to be moved up again. What do we think? Will they retrofit Pad A for version 2 boosters before Tower and Pad 2 come online? Pad
in
B?
order
Oh
to
my God.
retrofit
the naming, Ryan.
Oh, I know it's utterly just, I can't stand it. SpaceX is annoying. But Block 2 booster is 1 ring taller. So if SpaceX with the new pad puts it, what is it, 6 meters lower?
Right.
SpaceX puts the pad 6 meters lower than what it is currently. They can put the ship QD arm at the same height.
Oh my God! Top Banana 48 in chat says Texas Toast Watchers. All right, continue.
But it'll be about 5.5, I guess, 5.5 meters, give or take. But anyways, they put it low enough for the entire Block 2 stack to sit on it. The ship QD would be at the same height it's at. The QD arm would be at the same height as it is now, but the QD would operate like it did back in the ship 20 days, where it was straight on rather than raised up, is what they could do. So, yeah, they might end up doing something like that. They might drop it down. They might. There's options for them to figure it out. It just really depends on how the OLM is placed and like that. And in terms of Pad A, what was it? In terms of Pad A, they'll knock the whole thing down, destroy it, redo it. Like the entire the lovely OLM we see here is going to be no more once Block 1 boosters are done flying. It'll go bye-bye. It has served its purpose.
It's going to be a sight once all that starts happening, that's for sure. Westy the Third is saying, how many flights next year? I'm still thinking 6. Sawyer, what do you think? How many flights next year?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with 8. I know, who was it? Chris that said it earlier with the 8 for something else for orbits, but I don't know. I feel like they're gonna get close to the 1 a month, but it's not gonna be 1 every other month. I think as they continue to make improvements, and as you see the way they've been able to pick up the pace with all the testing, I think it's safe to say 8, and I'm hopeful maybe 10.
Yeah, I could see 10. Ooh, replays. Yeah, I mean, 10 is probably the number that I would expect next year. 12 in like a perfect world, 10 probably realistically, but still optimistic. Probably 8, 6 or 8 more realistically.
I'm thinking 6 to 8.
I expect the cadence to ramp, right? It's just how fast is that ramp going to be?
Because, like, we think Booster 17 is still a Block 1. There is a possibility we saw its aft section a ways back. And that's another... Oh, yeah, we're looking at replays. Dude, I'm sorry.
We're looking at bagels.
Yeah, we're looking at bagels. And Spin Prime.
By the way, you were talking about how fast they can ramp. I can ramp very fast, just saying. So if they
not
need
right now, you're horizontal.
Well, when I'm not horizontal, I can ramp fast.
Fair. I'd be remiss if I didn't call out Moto Kenzo in chat saying jalapeno sausage and cheese collage. This is Texas, damn it. All right, that is fair. Collages are delicious. It's not the same though. Like I eat a nice bagel with some cream cheese and some lox on there. I feel like I'm not being completely unhealthy. I eat a jalapeno and cheddar sausage collage, and I feel like I might as well be wolfing down like bear claws or something. They are good though. So you ever had a collage?
A what?
Kolache? I don't know actually how you're supposed to say that word.
Time to do a quick Google search.
It's like a pig in a blanket.
Oh, I've had pigs in a blanket, but I've never had a
It's like
whatever
a hot dog
this
wrapped
is.
in a doughy thing.
Oh, I mean,
Typically
I don't think
with
I've ever
filling.
heard it called that, but yeah, I've had it.
Psycho Mike
Delicious.
says kolache. Yeah, I don't know how to say that. Ryan, you ever had one?
I might have. I'm trying to remember now. My
Well,
brain has gone
pro
like
tip.
full random
tip.
access memory at this point.
If you come to Starbase, a bunch of the donut shops around here will do kolaches, and they're delicious.
I need to go down there at some point here.
Is that
it just needs to line up like with a flight. It needs to line up with a flight and me not having to work.
Is this basically just a fancy sausage roll?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Although I don't know if
Then
I would
yeah, I've
call
had
it
it.
fancy, but yeah.
That I had it when I was in Waco, so
Nice.
yeah.
Oh, was that for the eclipse?
No, it was a speaking event that I did with the mayor's family. A whole thing after CRS 12. It's a long story.
Huh. Cool. More replays. Got a long range view here.
Yeah, a little difficult looking as Starbase tries to remind you of Vandenberg.
You know, I just gotta say, it's like, you know, we love the replays. I'm just gonna say it out loud. We love the replays with static fires, but I mean, Spin Prime is, well,
It's good practice,
Yeah.
though, right? That's good practice.
right?
We are practicing and testing, and working out our
It's a
systems
cloud.
in the same way that SpaceX is with the booster. Matt K is asking, just got in, what happened? They did a spin prime, my guy, and they seem to be holding the levels of the prop in the tanks, which is quite interesting.
Trying to see if it's even dropped a little bit yet.
I don't think so.
Hard to tell. I don't
Maybe a
think
little
it
bit on the
has.
methane side, but that might just be wind direction.
How humid is it down there right now?
Not very, actually. Not very humid, not very buggy. It's not even hot. It's like straight up nice. It's gray and rainy, but it's nice. I'll take it over, 110 degree heat with 100% humidity and swarms of mosquitoes that literally look for any patch of exposed skin, including your frickin' eyeballs or nostrils. Summer down here, man. It's no joke. I welcome the winter.
By the way, potential, could this be like a kind of 30-minute hold they're doing almost to simulate their window of a launch?
Oh,
If that is, then then that hold would end in like a few minutes here.
interesting.
Yeah.
theory.
Or
It's
if they're pushing to
possible.
see how long, if they can extend it a little bit past 30 minutes, maybe. Just think it out loud.
Yeah, I guess we'll keep our eyes open and see if that's what ends up happening.
I mean, they could have done it before the quote-unquote T0, because I saw Pizza's asking that in the back channel, but, I mean, it's almost as if they didn't start the engines, they just did the spin prime part. So it's almost like they kind of would abort midway through and then see if they could recycle, maybe?
Perhaps. When it's always like I do sort of wish they blasted out on the PAs like, and now we're doing this test. Like that would be really cool.
One can dream.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
but it's got to be more like a subway announcement.
Or a
That
pilot
is what
trying
it's
to
like
talk
when you're
over
down
the
there. When you're down there in the dunes and you hear the PA go off, 9 times out of 10 it's indecipherable. You have to be in like just the right position with a loudspeaker facing you and not that far away and not a lot of echo or reverb. In order, it's weird. It's if you ever played in a domed stadium, like you have to pay close attention to your sound because it's reverberating all around the dome. It's there's no dome in Starbase, but the reverberations are similar. Hear the same thing like 3 times.
Parents.
Peanuts, yeah, basically. Jason Alexander is asking, what time of day do we want the next launch to be? I'm ready for a night launch, honestly. Ryan?
Yeah, we might be some detanking. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. We're losing frost, but I don't know. Night launch would be cool just to see the plume.
Twilight launch to get the jellyfish. I guess, yeah. I'm
jellyfish or something like that. Launch. Yeah, this hot stage jellyfish. Yeah, I don't think Kevin wants one, but, you know.
Kevin doesn't want a night launch. A jellyfish would be sick, but a night launch is no fun because the night views are no fun. Daytime views are for sure the best photography-wise, but, like, I've gotten some good photos and videos, so let's do a twilight launch.
Mix it up.
That's my vote. Sawyer, what do you think?
I mean, the lighting that we had on the last one was gorgeous. Yeah. Imagine pushing that back maybe like 30 minutes.
Oh,
Get a little bit more of the setting sun. I think that would be absolutely spectacular. Again, kind of just before twilight, so it's still light enough to see everything, but a little bit dark enough that you get the amazing sky colors behind it and that slight jellyfish potential.
That would be nice.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That would be nice. So it does kind of look like they're detanking now. Like, or is that just wind direction on the frost?
It's. I think they're starting to detank now.
Good deal.
Also, Jason Alexander, I loved you in Seinfeld.
For real. It's a European carry-all. Methane Man. Thank you for the support. They say here in Texas is peanut butter on Ritz crackers with jalapenos. Try it, it's delicious. That, no thanks. And Drew Nar, thank you for the super chat. They say, doesn't Tower 2 have an extra hinge point to raise up the QD arm for booster version 2? Also, I've been catching up on NSF at work for 4 hours now. Holy cow. Have we been live for 4 hours? No.
I think we were live with members for a little.
But they probably had to watch the Flame Trench and This Week in Spaceflight. And we were live with members, so there you go. Heck yeah, Drew. Yeah, Tower 2 does have that extra hinge point, doesn't it?
It does have an extra one for the actual main structure of the QD arm, although if I remember correctly, it's actually lower. But it does not have a separate attach point for the actuator itself. So the actuator only has one attach point, and it's the same location as the one that's on Pad A's tower. So it's still curious to see how they set it up and everything.
I don't know how to say this person's name, but they're asking how to get down off of Starship once it lands on Mars. Well, it's the same with the moon. They're like building an elevator thingy, right?
I would think it would be the same elevator type system to lower down crew, and I mean the benefit to having the elevators, then you can also lower down a bunch of the cargo. It's not as many trips back in and out. You can get your rover down and all your science experiments down with you. Just have it all down there.
Do you know how much money I would pay to get my Land Rover onto the surface of Mars? Full tank of gas. Just like, go for it, buddy. Oh my god. Mars Rover. But Land Rover. Mars Land Rover? Yeah, I don't know. Anyways. A guy can dream. Jason Alexander's asking, what should I have for lunch today? I'm going to go with soup.
No soup for you. 1 year.
Classic. Magnum is asking, what's that thing near Booster 14's cowbell vents, and have we already seen some changes to this booster? I'm looking at you, Ryan.
So the thing near the cowbell vents, if you're talking about that little, like, box right there, that is a valve. That's basically just a valve. And if I remember, that's the valve actuator right there itself. That debuted, words, English. And that started on Booster 13. So it's not new, and the rounder cowbells also started on the last booster as well. So there's a lot of things that kind of carry over from Booster 13 to this one. The only real major outline change that I talked about before was it does not have the ship engine chill pipe up at the forward dome. It does not need that anymore because the lines on Block 2 now run through the aft flat fairing, and then they kind of flare out and kind of go diagonal to the side. So whenever ship engine chill starts during the count for stacked ship 33, you're literally just going to see the vapors come out just right out of the flat fairing. It'll look kind of cool. It'll be all kind of separate from that. So.
What else do we got here? Anonymous getting the Flight 6 patch from the store and saying, when Flight 7? I'm going to say January. I'm going to say mid-January. Sawyer?
I think that's a safe bet. I mean, I know right now they're targeting January 11th, no earlier than, as we saw from that NASA documentation. I'm going to go with the last week of January. I'm going to go with the 25th. I don't know why. That's the number popping into my head, but I feel like they're going to push it just a tiny bit. Maybe there's a little bit of final paperwork, a little bit of final checks, but I still think sometime in January.
Yeah, I would agree. Ryan, any additional thoughts?
Yeah, we've been hearing a lot for like beginning of January and stuff. I'm thinking, I'm still end of January, early February. So I think they'll run into some blocks with other stuff, but who knows? Who knows with SpaceX at this point? It seems like they're able to get these things ready a lot quicker now. So who knows? They could be ready for it. So could the FAA. So.
Let's see. Florida Man is asking, do y'all have any idea why the chopsticks are in flight 1 to 4 position and not in the flight 5 or 6 position? Any theories? Meaning they're not at the top of the tower. Right
Yeah,
now.
they're just parking them out of the way. That's all. No real reason as to the location that they're at. They're just parking them out of the way while they do engine testing with the booster. They had them near the booster during a certain spin prime / spin boom. Rest in peace, White Hose. So they don't want to really experience that again, so they try to keep him out of the way.
Oh, poor Booster 7. Also, I do just want to point out during the rollout stream, someone called them the Choppies, and I absolutely love it.
They're totally choppies. Matt Talks asking, hi, how is it possible that Saturn V flew to the moon without refueling and Starship has to? Here's the thing about Starship compared to the Apollo command module and LEM. It big. It very, 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 very big. I think that's the ultimate summary of what it comes down to. You know, the lunar module's walls were famously like tinfoil, like super thin little mylar kind of nonsense. Like, we're sending a massive stainless steel reusable ship this time. It's not a little paper canoe. It's a 747, but for space.
They had to remove the seats because they weighed too much on the lander.
Right. Damien in chat is really mad about choppies, so let's make sure we get a Nightbot command for choppies. Let's make sure we canonically call them that. Sorry, Demian.
Yeah, just to put in perspective, the LEM landing on the moon is 15 tons. Starship on its own dry mass is like over 150. Like, yeah.
Oh, we have a poll. Choppies or not choppies? You know what I'm voting for. Choppies. Sorry, Demian. Chris was on the ball. Let's see. Raiders asking, do you guys expect Jared to make any changes to the ISS program and lifespan? Sawyer?
I don't think so. I mean, it's because it's not just a NASA decision. That is also a decision with the 16 other partner nations that are a part of the International Space Station. So I think when you put all that together, and just the current state of the ISS as is, I mean, you've got leaks,